Man, okay, this filing, I really feel like based on where I'm at so far in it, um, it's ties everything together, almost everything together that we've seen, um, and I feel like because I looked at everything that's happened or most everything, it seems very clear to me what they're trying to do here. Because again, like you remember NSCC 002, the one we were waiting on forever, right? Well, not much came from that because it's like they were waiting on this to happen first. This central uh, clearing service that they're doing basically is going to fix a lot of problems in the market revolving around securities lending. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to go about doing this. It's again very, very, very long, complex, in depth, and again, it references stuff that we've talked about already. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this to where everyone will be on the same page because this one is confusing. So I'll give you all an update as far as what I am for certain about. Um, I mean, again, just from the start, the contact info is all blanked out. I don't think I've seen that. I looked back through about 60 filings so far, and I haven't found another one that's like this. So I'm gonna keep looking because I could just be a coincidence, but I'm gonna look into this further too. I went over this yesterday. I don't want to regurgitate stuff. And for those of you who didn't catch this video yesterday, I just want to give a very brief summary of what I talked about yesterday. I got all the way into page 3, and my titties got so jacked I had to let people know what was going on. Basically, they're creating a service. It's almost like a securities lending service, a repo service almost. It operates almost the same way as the RRP market that we've been following so closely this year. So basically, they're going to propose to introduce a clearing service, right? And it's called the SFT, which are broadly speaking securities lending transactions where parties exchange equity securities against cash and simultaneously agree to exchange the same securities in cash plus or minus a rate payment on a future date. In particular, the proposed SFT clearing service would expand central clearing at NSCC to include SFTs with a 1 business day term or overnight SFTs, just like we see in the RRP. So, securities lending, RRP, they have the same function in the market, so you can think of them as one and the same almost. So basically, NSCC says right here, I've never seen these three things in the same sentence before. NSCC understands that SFTs provide liquidity to markets and facilitates the ability of market participants to make delivery on short sales and thereby avoid failures to deliver, naked shorts, in similar situations. So that's where we were at yesterday. Okay. So I've gone through today, looked at a bunch of stuff. Took me about 4 hours just to define this one little section here. Um, Basically, we have Basel III, which is the capital and leverage requirements as implemented by the US banking regulators. This ties in hand with the banking changes that I talked about earlier, the 12 CFR. I have an entire playlist on my channel that goes over these CFR changes. So that all ties into this. We have naked shorting brought into this. We have short sales. We have fail to delivers. Basically, the only thing I haven't seen yet is dark pools, but at this point, I'm kind of expecting to see that. So this page here, the summary basically, to cut this one short, I don't want to waste too much of your time. Uh, NSCC believes that right now it's in a position to be the primary counterparty for the new clearing service for securities transactions. And as such, it's going to create balance sheet netting opportunities. Okay, now stay with me. What that means, a balance sheet netting opportunity is basically, and they were nice enough to define it right here for us in the filing. It's the ability to offset cash payables and receivables versus the NSCC. So basically, it says down here as well that it can create significant capital benefits for market participants because it can reduce the amount of regulatory capital that they must hold against SFTs. Now, what that means is they're basically sealing a loophole, meaning if you do not go through NSCC for clearing for these securities lending transactions, if you do it outside of the NSCC, you're going to have to record that, if you're a member, on your balance sheet as gross rather than netted. Therefore, meaning you do not get the benefits of being able to net down those capital requirements, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, that's like as dumb as I can dumb it down, but I hope that makes sense. So basically, market participants must go through the NSCC to be able to get the significant capital benefits from the netting opportunity. So that's to me good, very, very good. So it seems to me, what have we seen come out of NSCC this year? We saw the big, liquidation, forced liquidation, right? Well, you can't liquidate anybody if they're not using your service. So if all of a sudden now, people can't borrow these securities anymore, and they're in need of a central counterparty like the NSCC, they're basically getting their rights of what they were designed to do back. This is what should have been happening the whole time. But instead, these broker dealers are all going to the table on the side, netting down their capital requirements this whole time. That's why we've seen the net capital requirement increase, the changes. It's all tying together in this filing. It's weird. Okay. So let me know how y'all want me to do this. Do you want me to just go through this mofo and just make a 2-hour long video that goes just in depth, or do you want me to break this thing apart little by little so that we're all on the same page? It's whatever y'all want to do. Let me know, because again, this is one page of info, and it took me about 2 hours to make sure that I got everything as accurate as I can interpret based on the language. So let me know how y'all want to do this. Again, very, very large filing, 369 pages. Everything's always 69. Love it. I want to see, my wife wants to do that later. Oh, just kidding. Y'all didn't hear that. Good night.